Welcome to Will It Build, the series where I take your builds from my YouTube comments and Discord server and put them to the test to see if they are the real deal. If it's solid, then I'll gift you 1,000 silver, and if it's really something special, you'll be featured in a dedicated build video for your submitted build. So comment yours below so we can answer the question, will it build? Welcome back to another episode of Will It Build. We already did an emblem giveaway in the first Hunter episode of Act 2 and the first Warlock episode of Act 2, so it only seems right we do an emblem giveaway for the first Titan episode of Act 2. Same as before, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and leave a comment down in the description below letting me know what your favorite breakfast food is. I've been trying to eat a little bit more breakfast, and so I'm gonna take inspiration from you guys. Give me your secret, top secret, delicious breakfast meals. I am so excited for this build today. I originally was a little skeptical of it when I saw the submission. You'll notice I have Peacekeepers on right now, which have notoriously always been a PvP exotic. But there was a change to them back in Act 1 that for me personally flew a little bit under the radar that makes them look absolutely overpowered if you pair it with the right weapons. So we have got a build submitted by the Biz26 where they say Peacekeepers in PvE, and they say this is a very easy build to run. You kind of do feel unkillable with two ways to start Devour, one coming from an artifact mod, which isn't needed, so this still will work outside of Episode Revenant. They say energy and heavy are up to the user discretion. You can just put in whatever is going to work against champions and whatever activity you're using, but the big thing here is going to be Huckleberry alongside the Peacekeeper buff. For those who aren't aware, like I wasn't aware, Peacekeepers in Act 1 got a buff where dealing damage to combatants with an SMG increases SMG damage for a short time. Specifically, every single hit that you get with an SMG will add a stack, and you can get to a maximum of 20 stacks where you will deal literally double damage with the SMG, and this will persist as long as you're getting an SMG hit every second, as every hit will add a stack and refresh the timer. So the idea with this build is that if we link it up with Huckleberry, a weapon that literally reloads itself anytime you get a final blow, we can maintain double SMG damage permanently and be an absolute ad clearing monster, and even bring something to the table when it comes to bursting tankier foes, as we will have literal double damage on the SMG with that 100% damage bonus if we land 20 bullets. Looking at the rest of the setup, they mentioned about how we were going to be unkillable as well, and a lot of those things are going to come from the fact that we're on the Void subclass on Titan. Going with Twilight Arsenal, I would imagine they recommended this because it's just the best Titan super. They've got a setup with Rally Barricade, although I think you could go Towering Barricade if you would prefer, because the base cooldown of these barricades is not going to matter. Reason being is because we are using Bastion, and whenever you're using Bastion, it locks the cooldown of your barricade to whatever the value is for the Bastion aspect. It doesn't matter what the cooldown is of these two barricades. So Bastion, of course, anytime we throw our barricade down, we're going to give an overshield to ourselves and nearby allies. I do kind of like the angle of taking this with Rally Barricade, because then you can gain the benefits of Rally Barricade. Increases weapon reload speed, stability, and range, which is going to be really, really nice as well for something like an SMG. And you're going to be regenerating in your overshield as you remain behind it. Also going with Controlled Demolition, we're hitting a target with a Void ability or Volatile Explosion is going to make them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target will cause them to explode, and it'll grant us and nearby allies health whenever volatile targets explode near us. I'm not so sure how massive I'm going to be on this one, and if I maybe might want to end up testing out something like Offensive Bulwark for even more grenade energy, but we'll see as we get into it. I'm not sure it's going to be super necessary to go Offensive Bulwark for more grenade energy anyway, because the main way that we're going to be unkillable with this build is going to be with the Echo of Starvation. We're picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power is going to grant us Devour. And most of you probably know by now, any kill while under the effects of Devour is going to increase the duration of Devour, give us a 100 HP heal, giving us more grenade energy based on the tier of target that we kill, with higher tier targets giving us even more grenade energy. Going to be pairing this up with the Echo of Persistence so that our Devour and Overshield durations are going to last longer. This actually also makes it so that the Devour time increase is more per kill. You get 8 seconds extra of Devour per kill, as opposed to the typical 5 if you're not running Persistence. On top of that, they got set up with the Echo of Vigilance, where defeating a target while our shields are depleted is going to grant us a temporary Void Overshield. So that's another way to get Void Overshields, which are fantastic because they did recently get buffed, so they're a little bit more powerful, a little bit more potent, and they're rounding us out with the Echo of Undermining, where our Void Grenades are going to weaken targets, allow us to do bonus damage to them, which is fantastic because we're going to have a high grenade uptime uptime thanks to Devour. Speaking of which, we're going with Scatter Grenade as per their recommendation, along with Shield Throw as another way to get over shield. For the rest of the build, as we discussed previously, we're going with Huckleberry. Our intrinsic trait is going to increase the rate of fire in recoil while we're holding down the trigger. Final blows dealt with this weapon are going to reload the magazine fully. It's also got Rampage, so that on top of the 100% bonus damage that you'll get, double damage with Peacekeepers, we also get another set of bonus damage with Rampage here once we get up to 3 kills. Other weapons are completely dealer's choice. I'm just going with an auto-loading disorienting grenade launcher and a rocket launcher. They said that we're going to be primarily sticking to the Huckleberry the entire time, so I have a feeling we're not going to use those other 2 weapons too much. Then looking at Peacekeepers specifically, as we read, while wielding a submachine gun, handling, airborne effectiveness, and movement are all improved, and damage against combatants will increase the longer you remain on target. Furthermore, submachine guns are reloaded when stowed. Theoretical DPS phase could look like if we were dealing with the tankier target, empty a Huckleberry mag. Once it's out of ammo, pull out the rocket, fire a couple rockets, and then it'll auto-load the Huckleberry in the background. When we look at our mods, they set us up with double kinetic siphon as well as an ashes to assets. Double kinetic siphon for orbs on kinetic multi-kills, obviously. Going to be big orbs as well for more Twilight Arsenals, since we're going to be getting pretty much all kinetic kills. Ashes to assets, since we're going to have a high grenade uptime thanks to Devour, this is going to be another way to get even more super energy through Twilight Arsenal. Down on the gloves, we've got kinetic loader, which increases the reload speed of kinetic weapons. Might think this is a little bit unnecessary with Huckleberry, since Huckleberry loads itself whenever we get a final blow with it. I could see a use case for this in any situation where we're fighting a tankier enemy, where maybe we can't kill it with 1 mag of Huckleberry. So as always, we'll keep it on and see how it goes. They're pairing this up with firepower, where our grenade final blows will create orbs of power, another way to get Devour. And if you have space, I did not because of the energy cost of my stat mods, they also recommended a bolstering detonation so that your grenade hits will give you class ability energy for more bastion procs if you can fit it. Down on the boots, they've got us with an absolution, a innervation, and insulation for for ability regeneration anytime we pick up orbs. I'm wondering if we might want to experiment with a kinetic weapon surge down here, but we can maybe test that out as we get into it. We definitely don't want kinetic weapon surge with the current setup of this build right now, though, because our armor charge stacks are going towards utility kickstart. This is presumably so we can get more mileage out of Bastion, get more class ability energy back whenever we use it, so we can continuously spam Bastion, get more rally barricades, get the benefits from the rally barricade, and get more void overshields from Bastion. Finally got a Reaper. If you do happen to have some extra energy, I don't, because I have a 4 energy cost mod for my stats because I needed tier 10 resilience, but if you can fit a 3 stat cost mod here, you can slot a bomber into your final slot per their recommendations. As far as stats go, tier 10 resilience followed by discipline is basically all they said. I think really the only necessity is going to be tier 10 resilience, though, for the damage resistance and the class ability cooldown. I think all the other abilities will work themselves out. That's the setup for the build. We're going to go ahead and rock and roll with the submitter of the build, the Biz right here, who presumably is also running the same thing. Let me know in the comments whose fashion is better, by the way. This is their fashion for the build. I went a little more wizard approach. And my homie Buddha-san, who is a longtime viewer of the stream, all the folks that hang out know him very well. He's fantastic. Twitch.tv/Mactics, by the way, where we film all of these live. Would love to have you stop by. Maybe you can rock and roll with us for an episode if you'd like. We're going to hop into the new Contest of Elders activity and answer that question. Will it be? We're kind of moving. Oh yeah, it said we get increased movement speed while we're holding an SMG. Dude, I feel like I'm flying. Speedrunner Titan. Okay, so I see the damage boost stacking on the left side of my screen every time we get a kill. Dude, the mag full filling every time we get a kill is nice. And then there's the orbs for Devour. Okay, I do kind of like the kinetic loader so far. Oh my god. I like the kinetic loader so far because, you know, sometimes you're going to be in a situation where, like, the teammate gets the final blow that you needed to refund your mag. It's kind of shredding a little bit. And then we gotta, we get sauce in the grenades for the tankier targets as well. What's nice, too, is since this is an exotic weapon, it's going to give us crazy super energy. Exotic primary ammo weapon should give us nutty super energy, which should be pretty... Boom, there's our Devour. Holy. Wait, let me get the damage boost stacking, and then let me hit the wizard. Oh my god. And if a trash mob runs in front of you while you're shooting it at a tanky enemy, and you get the quick kill on the trash mob, refills your mag. Wait, this is feeling nice. Ding. Light blade. Boom. 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 Hashtag not my light blade. That dude is a chump. Oh, it's another light blade. What's up, buddy? Yep. He just gets kind of fried. And then this, dude, this thing carves through trash mobs. And then if you carve through enough trash mobs, you get the damage buff stacking. And you're at a full mag with 20 stacks. And then you can carve through not trash mobs on top of that. The kinetic tremors can proc the Huckleberry reload. Wait, Huckleberry has kinetic tremors? Oh, the catalyst gives it kinetic tremors. That's right. Because the catalyst used to be rampage. Now rampage is an intrinsic perk on the weapon, and the catalyst gives kinetic tremors. The best way I can describe this build so far is hot knife through butter. I'm going to have 500 kills by the end of this run. Well, now that I've said it, I'm going to have 499 now. Let me toss the shield. They're spawning into a blender. I need a blender sponsorship for this episode. Woo! I don't know the last time I reloaded my gun. And these are swords. These are sword tier enemies, by the way. These are not like, it's not like we're slicing through patrol mobs. We're 15 power levels down on these enemies. Then we got a tankier mob, like trashed. Throw the grenade, like when you have a tankier mob, chuck the grenade on him, does a little bit of damage, weakens them. Then you get the SMG involved, they're auto dead. Rinsed. So I don't know the last time I reloaded was. Feels like it was a while ago. Does this look like fun? Does this look like I'm having fun? Because you guys could do this. You equip this build. You'll also be having fun. Okay, I'm gonna get the rally barricade down so I have better reload speed. Pop, 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 pop. Woo! I'm not so sure how much the armor charge for utility kickstart is necessary for bonus class ability activations. Because the main thing you're getting from your class ability is the overshield from Bastion. And with all the healing you have from Devour, I'm just not entirely sure it's that necessary. You also, if you do need an overshield, like on an emergency, you got your shield throw that I definitely didn't just completely whiff. I mean, there's not that many situations where you really need it. Now, I do want to experiment just a little bit, like I said I wanted to. We're going to ditch the utility kickstart, so we're going to throw our Reaper into this slot, and then we'll try out... I feel like we're making so many orbs, we don't really need time dilation, but I can't really think of anything that I'd rather run. I guess we can take it, might as well, right? You know, let's just go crazy. Let's rip a double kinetic weapon surge, so we're getting 17% bonus whenever we're armor charged. So we get 17% from our double kinetic weapon surge. We've got our 3x rampage. We've got our 100% from peacekeepers, 2x damage. How's about that? So far, I honestly gotta say, by far one of my favorite parts about this build, it's so easy. I love builds like this that are just brainless in the best way possible. You don't have to think about your ability rotations with this. You don't got to think about any combos. You don't have to worry about any cooldowns. It's literally just get Devour up and then hold down the trigger. That's it. That's the entire build, which I love because, like, I feel like sometimes playing this game when you get home from work, playing this game after a long day, you know, you just want to relax. You don't want to use your brain. You don't want to think. You just want to shoot space aliens, right? And sometimes if you're having to worry about, you know, keeping up a ton of different buffs or something like that, and all these ability rotations and all these ability loops and whatnot. It can kind of take you out of that feeling of relaxation. This one's like throw on the sleep mask and spray and pray. I learned another thing, by the way. Apparently, if it's a real mine, it says diffusing splinter mine, and if it's fake one, it says deactivating. So see like the little circle when I oh, come on, not like this. Thank you, throwing shield. So like this one, see how on the circle it says diffusing splinter mine in the middle of my screen? If it's a fake, it says deactivating. So like this one, it'll say deactivating. That means it's fake. It's a facade. Are we done? I want to know what my final kill count was. If it's not above 500, I'm trash. Show me something good. Ooh. Hey! Not bad, not bad. Let's not scoff at the 167 orbs created. I also want to note the Biz was also using the build and racked up a crispy 355. Now you might look at Buddha-san's kills here and see 194 and think like, man, Buddha, that guy just must not be good. On the contrary, I've played with him many a times. He's a spectacular player. His build was just a little bit more suited for survivability in Omnioculus. I feel like that's definitely a testament to not necessarily any of our skill levels, but just a testament to how much this build shreds. So will it build? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, yes. We're calling this bad boy Lucky Pants, but for SMGs, Lucky Peacekeepers, whatever you want to call it. I think theoretically, you could really run this with any SMG as well if you wanted to try out something like Manticore. I think would be incredible with this build. Back in the day when Into the Light dropped, I did like a Manticore Titan Doomfang Pauldron's Onslaught build. I think a hybrid between this build with like the Peacekeepers and the subclass setup in conjunction with the Manticore build that I did, you kind of fuse them together, marry them together a little bit. I think that could be crazy because of how Manticore's ammo economy works. You'll basically be able to permanently have the 20 stack buff for double damage up. I love it. I got nothing else to say. I'm not sure how I felt about running the double kinetic weapon surge over the utility kickstart on the class item. Honestly, I feel like that's going to be a dealer's choice situation, but I really did enjoy all of the mods. I thought all of the mod selections made a lot of sense. So big thumbs up there. I really don't feel like I need to make any subclass tweaks either. I really love undermining here. I really love starvation. I really love persistence. I'm not sure how much I noticed vigilance. I think if there was one to change, you could maybe swap vigilance out for something else if you'd like, but I loved this setup. I thought this was spectacular. So big thanks to Biz for submitting it. If you want one of your builds to be reviewed in a video like this, if you think you've got the next meta build and you want everyone in the world to be able to see it and appreciate it and try it out, and thank you for showing it to them, please be sure to submit it in the Discord server linked in the description below in the Will It Build channel, and we will be sure to check it out. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see the next episode of Will It Build. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.